Okay, so before YouTube, before camera cell phones, before cell phones, really, practically, before they were as common as they are anyway, the chairman, okay, do you hear that? People in my building who call me retard and crazy and these horrible things that undermine me constantly to the point where I can't even meet someone without being told, without them being told that I am to be wary of, and how the relationships continually go that way. But anyway, before I had my head bashed in by a female, African American female, transit police officer named Deborah Moore, badge 3230. This is what I was doing in the city, everybody. I was trying my hand at becoming a successful artist. I was sending music to Capitol Records with my own FedEx account, and even after the beating, actually, I should read the letter first. This is 2 years after the beating, and I told everyone about it, and nobody wanted to hear. So this is no offense to Sarah, and I'm sorry that I'm reading this, but it's business, right? Because I am trying to make the point that this is a person who is the chairman. Okay, everybody got that? The chairman has the position to do something with your shit, right? Okay? So this is 6 years before I moved into this hellhole piece of shit community. Alright, let me read this quickly. Dear Raina, it was so nice to hear from you. I hope all is going well now, and I do think it was probably a good idea for you to get out of Manhattan. Sounds like you've been through a terrible ordeal with the police, and I'm sorry you weren't able to settle it in a way that was more beneficial to you. I can't think of any use we could have for your videotape. We're not doing much television, and it certainly wouldn't work as a theatrical film. Perhaps when you've edited it all down and included the Woodstock coverage, you could send it in. I'll see if television has any ideas as to what to do with it. I'm not sure what your connection is with the Farmy t-shirts. If you send me one, I'll certainly send it over to our costume department on our next movie and see if they can fit it in. Nikki's her son. We sent his love. We miss you. I wonder what he's up to now. And the point is that these are people along with Jonathan Demme, who I spoke with a couple of times personally about possibly using my music. And even though nothing came of it, this is what happens. I had only been at it a couple of years. Well, that's not true. Maybe like 4 years. But I was still young, talented, had a lot going for me, and then I have my head bashed in. So I'm going to be editing some of this footage with other footage later, so I'm just doing this for now. And actually, let me get a shot like this for later, so I don't feel like scanning. That's not going to work. And just the idea of like so much that I had going for me, the crazy people, the family from Florida that basically all these people said that I was kidnapped out of New York City. The woman that introduced me to Sarah made fun of me for eating avocados as a health food, as a weight loss diet, which I didn't really need to lose weight back then, but it was just about looking as good as you could and being as healthy as you could, and all this lifestyle stuff. Including yoga. I learned Bikram yoga in 1989, which is why I was trying to teach it in 1996 at Columbia Green Community College. And this was me combining, because I didn't really know, I didn't understand the yoga as much as I needed to be a teacher, but I didn't know that. Nobody else was doing yoga. All I know is I was better at it than anybody else. Decades before Jane Carson Yorktown. And yet I can't even, I'm not even allowed to practice, to teach in the tri-state area, because she called everyone to tell her that I'm dangerous. I mean, how does someone not step in and say, how dare you do that to another human being? But I'll read this another time. But I had, a lot of experience, and I wanted to teach up at the high school here with my Albanese experience, but they just laugh at you. They laugh at you. You're a silly old woman that has no... This was also from 1995, a health club that has nothing about yoga, and even in Croton in 1993-94, it was 1994 actually, and I went in and I asked if I could teach a yoga class, and they laughed me out of the place. And I even felt a little silly because I didn't understand why they didn't see my vision. Nobody in Westchester was doing yoga, and yet there I was, putting it out there. There's obviously a small movement. I'm sure a handful of people were doing it in Manhattan, whatever. But the point is all these years later, I have to edit here in, these people calling me retard and everything, because these people embrace their poverty. They prefer to be in control of their poverty rather than let someone else who has something more to offer influence their little screwed up 7-year-olds or their crappy way of life. And I wasn't a total asshole the way I am now. When I first moved here, I was very nice to everyone, and anyway, do you understand? This is Lord of the Rings. We all know who New Line Cinema is, right? Right? So how do you put a value on someone's life and what could have been, and what was undermined, what was sabotaged? So I have a few people in my head who I'm like, dear so-and-so, writing to, talking to right now, saying this. But, so I'm trying to make a point, okay? This is did I say it already? The chairman, or at least she was in 95. I think Robert Shea is still I don't know who's the head of it now, but I don't know. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. Don't know about you.